Hello, welcome back to my channel and to another reaction video. This time I'll be continuing the Warhammer Fantasy lore videos. This is the Garden of Nurgle.
There comes a moment in the life of every mortal creature when it begins to understand its time in the world is limited. For most, the careless vibrancy of youth fades into melancholic reminiscence, sober reflections on things they are unable to resist or change. Yet some grow obsessed with feelings of helplessness and despair. From this, a deep bitterness can take hold. The step from helplessness to bitterness is a small one, but the first on a dark path that has only one destination. Many have walked this winding trail, though only a very few will ever make it to the land of the Plague Lord and witness with decaying eyes the Garden of Nurgle.
I'm getting chills.
Each of the dark gods of chaos have their own particular spheres of influence within the Aether, dimensions of pure sorcery and emotion, separate from the physical world. The true splendor and horror of these places are beyond the perception of living minds that can only
those giant
recoil from its
maggots.
impossible landscapes.
Cool.
Therefore, no two descriptions of the Garden of Nurgle or any aspect of the realm of chaos will be exactly alike. But the land of the Plague Lord reflects the whims of its master, and certain elements will always be present. The garden is a paradise of death, decay, and pestilence. Every pox and affliction to ever enact their sufferings upon mortal beings is present here. Noxious fumes bubble up from putrid swamps, deep enough to swallow any who might dare trespass. What little ground exists is nothing more than decomposing mulch and endless corpses in the midst of uncontrolled decay. Everywhere, death feeds on the dying. But Nurgle is also the god of life and rebirth, and his garden reflects the delight he holds for the cycle of existence. It is overgrown with plants and trees from 1,000 worlds across 100 realities, every one vibrant in autumn splendor. Bright sprays of color, deep reds, blues, yellows, and purples streak across venomous leaves, tangled vines, and flesh-tearing thorns. The very air is alive with glowing spores and enormous clouds of black flies. Blistered tongues sprout up from the earth, and trees made of living skin weep tears of pus and blood. The mouldering earth is ravaged by insects, infested with twisted slugs, centipedes, and thousands of other creatures that defy imagination. They gnaw on the bones of the dead, filling the garden with the sickly sounds of merriment. No true map of the garden exists for every continent and mote of dust.
Imagine getting stuck into a place like this.
Which change and flow like the seasons. It is said to border the realm of the sorcerer, though when Nurgle's power grows, so too does the grandeur of the garden. It can burst into the domain of Tzeentch, and perhaps at times even cast its tendrils into the lands of Khorne or Slaanesh. Inevitably, however, the garden will recede, and the cycle will begin anew. As fluid as the garden might be, there exist many fetid landmarks.
How often do you wonder
sites of power or
chaos
misery,
gods fight
even if
each
their exact
other?
location shifts and wanders within its borders. The rotten reaches, the fungus lands, the fields of tooth and bone, and the abyssal sump all lie within the greater garden. Each is an aspect of Nurgle given preeminent form, but other, stranger places might be found within its depths. The Septic Isle is thought to be the heart of all disease, surrounded by oceans of filth that stretch to every horizon. The skull of Argus, greatest of the ancient Sky Titans, hovers overhead, glowing with a sickly green light that illuminates all beneath its gaze. The roots of the great tree extend across the entire garden, and possibly into even the most hidden places within the realm of chaos itself. The lair of the Maggot Lord is thought to be the fortress of one of Nurgle's greatest champions, a great worm that wore the skin of its victims to conceal its true form. But it is the lair of the 13th Lord that stands apart from all other places in the lands of Nurgle, and may even be beyond the control of the Plague God himself. None can say with certainty what lies within, though some claim to have heard the chittering of countless unseen creatures, and a single set of glowing red eyes that stand above all others. At the center of the garden, however, lies the blighted mansion of misery and mirth. It is a great fortress, half hidden by a miasma of decay infused into its very structure. Rotten is its foundation, racked and twisted, so that its entire structure groans and creaks when battered by toxic winds. Shutters hang from broken, filth-covered windows as sewage pours from rusted pipes. Paint continually cracks and peels away, yet the mansion can never lose its hue. Along its broken roof, hundreds of chimneys belch out dark clouds of buzzing insects. There is no explanation of how this structure is kept from collapse, save that this is the dwelling place of the plague god, who finds limitless joy
And say
in
how much
perfect
I love
peace
this
and the
design.
inevitability
Holy
of
shit.
decay. Within this mansion can be found Nurgle himself, who appeals to every visitor, both summoned and unexpected, to approach, share tales, and explore the countless rooms within. Grand staircases adorned with disintegrating rugs beckon to wandering souls, leading them to chambers where their flesh might find purpose. In the attic can be found abounding works of decay, all neatly catalogued and counted. There are endless rows of jars. Within each are plague victims from across time
I love the
and
eyeballs
space.
there.
Their souls left to
Kinda
slowly
look like
dim
frog
as
eyes or
afflictions waste them
some other
away.
creature. I don't know.
It is within the kitchens and larders, though, that the true work
It's
of
really
Nurgle is
disturbing the
done.
way those
Every ingredient from which a
pulsate.
plague might be created, every baneful component that might do harm to mortal form can be
more
found here,
eyeballs.
skillfully labeled and ready to be added to the great black cauldron that dominates the space. So large is this cauldron that it might have held all the oceans of the world, though it is disease and contagion that flourishes within. With every stir of a mold-encrusted ladle, a dozen new maladies are born. Legends say that Nurgle is never alone in these kitchens, that he keeps a she-demon, who some might name his daughter, locked within its depths, cursed with a vulnerability to every disease, but blessed with the ability to purge.
Please let me know if
the
there's
Plague
a
Lord
lore
tests his
video to
concoctions
whatever
on
this
prisoner,
she-demon is.
judging their potency by how long it takes her to recover. In her suffering, the captive demon weeps tears that can heal every ailment, and whispers to mortals the secret cures for all of Nurgle's ailments. So has she entered the beliefs of 1,000 cultures under 1,000 names. The beauty and surprises of the garden will always draw Nurgle away from his work, however. He cherishes every aspect of his realm, and all those within it, cavorting with any he finds on his leisurely strolls. He delights in stories told of the lands beyond his own, gifting amusing raconteurs his newest plagues before sending them back to the worlds they described. Only a rare few have ever seen visions of the garden and retained their sanity for even a short time. Their suffering has shaped the perception of Nurgle's realm across mortal minds, but no words can make sense of the manifested will of a chaos god. Yet some come close. Before he was executed for subversion and heresy, the poet Maximilian von Hohenstaufen penned a song of death, whose words still echo across the garden of Nurgle. Despair, all ye nations, there's no hope for us now, for we made this monster, placed a crown on his brow. He fed on our apathy, our pain made him swell. We gave him dominion, he gives us his hell.
Pretty damn cool poem. And that's gonna be, yeah. Really dislike the buzzing sound at the very beginning for a second there. I thought there was a fly here. But anyway, that was the Garden of Nurgle, and yeah, I really love this. It really seems a really disturbing place, but yeah, I did find it interesting how they described Nurgle as the garden would often distract him of his work, and he would go on his leisurely walks and I don't know. I don't remember the exact word they used, but yeah, he would spend time with his creations here, or well, not his. I mean, the garden is his creation, but they mentioned how there's plenty of plants and species from thousands of worlds from different realities. It truly is the Warhammer, I guess you can call it multiverse, truly fascinating. But yeah, I really did love the poem at the end. But yeah, even after all that, I mean, Nurgle is a chaos god, but yeah, he seems to be more about life, very twisted type of life, as we saw from his creation, these weird looking insects. But yeah, it's truly disturbing design this place has, but yeah, I absolutely love it. And yeah, whoever this sea demon is that is locked in the towers of the garden or whatever, they mentioned how a word of her has spread, and now thousands of cultures worship her under different names, and they say that she sheds tears that can cure every ailment. But yeah, definitely, I mean, we have seen it before, and other champions of chaos demons, other champions of chaos gods that use mortal worship to gain influence. Yeah, really disturbing. And whatever this cure, as mentioned, how she sheds tears that uh, that heals every ailment of Nurgle. Wonder what that means if you actually use it. It's a really bullshit sound to it, but yeah. And I really do love these videos on the chaos gods. They are truly fascinating. What do you guys think? Write your thoughts down below. Hope you enjoyed my reaction. Drop a comment, like, subscribe if you want to know what's in another video. Bye.